I just don't know. Hi. So I'm in my new place back on Vancouver Island, and I don't know if I like the camera angle. I can't get it right. I have so right above my tripod, full disclosure, I have a chandelier now. So everything, my setup is just kind of like in this place where it's too tall, no matter what I do. Anyway, hi, thanks for showing up. Name's Ashley Watson, and yeah. Anyway, happy birthday, Virgo. It's your turn first, as is always the case. We always go ahead and we do your sign first if it's your birthday. This is the September general read. I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant. You can read everything you need to know in the description box. You probably should check out your rising, moon, and Venus sign for additional messages. And of course, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't your sun sign. Now, if I hear ringing in my ears while I'm doing stuff, I do channel messages as well. If I hear it on my right side, it's typically people I know that have passed on. And if I hear it on the left, it's my spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever you want to call them. Now, we're going to do things a little bit differently this month because we're rolling into a different season, of course. So I'm going to do Celtic Cross. I'm going to clarify. I wanted some lighter energy up in here. So I've decided to use some brighter decks. I pulled out the Light Seer's Tarot. I'm going to use the Joie de Vivre Tarot for whoever. We're going to use Light Seer's Tarot for you. I'm going to clarify with Deviant Moon, which I only read in the upright. I never ever read it in the reverse. But we're going to start with a couple of different things for you here. Now, just so you know, I'm probably going to open up donations through my PayPal. So you'll see that in the description box of the video as well. And we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to start with the I Am Power Pack for a message for you, an affirmation for you that you can use every day through the month of September. And then something from the Elle Oracle, which I picked up from another tarot reader a long time ago. And I just love the imagery on the deck. So it doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine. Of course, the gender is not specific here, but it is a she is type of deck. So we're going to start with that for you. We're going to start with that, yes. Now, all of the decks have been pre-shuffled, but of course, I'll also shuffle while I'm channeling for you. Now, during my meditation before I started, we had a couple of different songs. We had Holla by Pantera. We had While the Song Remains the Same by Noel Gallagher, Booby Trapped by Matt Good, Water by Rara Riot, and Blind Valentine by Metric. So those were the songs. If you know any of those songs, please go ahead and listen to them. If you don't, please check them out. I thought those were kind of prevalent, and there might be a couple of keywords in them for you. Of course, if I get anything while I'm, doing my thing here, I'll also do it. And of course, you can always go ahead and skip through all of my blah, blah, blah. You are a human being, and you can do that. And if you don't like to watch, you can always just, listen. I often listen to readings. I walk around with my cell phone in my pocket and listen to stuff while I'm cooking and leave it on the counter. We got two for you that have come out of this Elle Tarot deck here. So what do we got? We've got She or He Who Instigates. Regina. It might be from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm Canadian, so, that happens. And then Iris, She Who Changes. That reminds me of the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. It just does, because I'm a 90s chick, right? So She Who Changes. Might be going through some change or transition period right now. But also, you could be somebody who instigates change, right? Could be a disruptor by nature. Which isn't normally a thing for Virgo. I mean, Virgo's typically a mutable sign, so they usually roll with the punches type human being, but, also sorry about my hair. I'm trying not to heat treat my hair, right? So those are your two cards as far as that goes. We'll just put those guys over there, and then we'll get your affirmation. So, affirmation for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What can you say to yourself throughout the month of September to kind of feel okay with things or what have you? I must say I'm a little nervous. I had a little meltdown over something that happened to me. It was a rather public meltdown, and I ended up with like 500,000 people watch it. It's fine. It's fine. But, you know, should always be cognizant of that. It was just one of those things. All right. But yeah. All right. You might be having a meltdown. You having a meltdown about something? Something kind of shocking happened. All right. Let's see, Virgo. I think we're splitting it for you. I don't normally do that. I usually only take flippers and jumpers. But we're going to take the middle pile. Virgo. I am wise. So you're being wise about change that you're instigating, or being wise through change, being wise when it comes to what you're starting. You know, that could very well be a thing. All right, let's get started for you. Like I said, we're going to use the Light Seers Tarot for you here. It's by Chris Ann. It's a deck that I really, really like the color on. It's very bright. The imagery is really cool. It's funny because my favorite cards are in the swords. That's the funny thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's a really bright deck, but you know, I end up liking the darker imagery on some of the cards. It's stupid. Alrighty. Celtic Cross for you. We will clarify. I am trying to talk a little faster so I can make sure that I get things done in a timely fashion, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I also give you as much bang for your buck as I can. All right. There we go. That's the difference between you and me. Something I'm hearing from Blind Valentine by Metric, right? That's the difference between you and me. Conversation you're having with somebody about that. That's the difference, baby, between you and me. Just for fairness for you, as I always do. I don't want anybody to be like, you know, those were always going to be in the reverse. Okay, in the present for you. Present energy for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we got? Virgo. Heartbreak. Crying out in pain. Could be a change that you're going through. You're surrounded by people who are going through immense change at this time. That there's agony, there's crying out in pain. What's your obstacle? What's your obstacle right now, Virgo? Perhaps the obstacle to healing. Two of Swords, crossroads, a decision. Left, right. Which way to go? You're at a fork in the road. Blind. You could be turning a blind eye. You could be sitting in stagnancy because of the pain. Could also be in a place of mourning or grieving over something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a death, but it could be. We're in that denial period. Trying not to look at something because it might be too painful. Your obstacle to healing is that you're denying the truth. Just going to move this a little. We'll move these a little. In the recent past for you. Oh no, sorry. It's been a hot minute since we've done a Celtic Cross. What's crowning you? Sorry. What's crowning you? Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What's crowning you? Eight of Swords almost wanted to jump. Another card of blindness. What do we get? Magician. Manifestation. illusions. Still a card of illusion, right? Gemini, Virgo energy, your energy. I'm getting this infinite, the infinity symbol there. There's something about attempting to master the elements in order to master yourself. There's something that's out of your control here. You're attempting to manipulate forces in order to bring things back into control. It's a part of your healing process. It could very well be that you realize that that some things are out of your control. So you're attempting to, a part of the perspective, there's perspective. You're gaining perspective that some things in life you cannot control. So what is it about the energy that you can manipulate in this situation? It's something that's top of mind. Because that is ultimate self-mastery, understanding what you can and cannot control. Mastering the elements here. You see the elemental symbols of alchemy there? Mastering the elements in order to master oneself. Some things are out of your control. So what can you control? What is within the sphere of your influence? That's oftentimes what we do have to think about. There are three spheres, right? Sphere of influence, sphere of control, the sphere of crap. I can't remember it, but what is within the sphere of your influence? And what is not? Hidden from your awareness right now. What is hidden from Virgo's awareness at this time? Don't worry, we'll clarify. What is hidden from Virgo's awareness? That's too many. Just so anybody who's watched me long enough knows that typically I'll take 3. I'm not taking 3. Not in this spread. Especially since I'm clarifying. I'll take 2, but I will not take 3. Okay. Strength. There's a need for courage here. Courage to confront one's emotions. To be brave. But also to master one's emotions. Remember, it's top of mind for you to master the self-mastery element of things. This is also about taming the inner beast. Interesting. Do you notice what symbol that we have here? We got the infinity symbol. Leo energy here. There's something about the infinite. Top of mind. Top of mind. The infinite is above your head. How do you understand the infinite? How can you master the infinite? How can you have the courage? It's hidden from your awareness, though. The need for bravery, the need to master your temper. You have anger. There's anger. Sorry, I live in a basement suite now. And it's not soundproofed like my apartment was. So you'll hear things. In the recent past, I was going to say, in the recent past, there was injustice. You feel something was not as, it was a biased action, or there was injustice. There was injustice here, rather. Something was unjust. Something doesn't seem fair to you. This is also Libran energy, feminine Libran energy, but it's something that doesn't seem fair. Something that was done behind your back, because my eye is starting to do a thing here. Something that was done behind your back, or when your eyes were closed. Something that you couldn't see. Lies, deceit, deception. Something done from a biased perspective. Didn't seem fair. You could have lost a court case. But something that was done behind your back. Behind your back, because her back is turned to the rest of the spread. You couldn't see it. It was swift. And there was a lie. Okay. It wanted to go like this, so I'm taking it. In the near future, I'm saying 2 weeks out. I usually take this as 2 weeks out. In the near future, after surveying things, you're no longer waiting. Having looked out upon everything, the need to sit and survey and, you know, rest on your laurels is no longer there. You're moving on something. Movement forward in some fashion. No longer standing there waiting to take that surfboard out on the water. The time to act. Additionally, for you, in your environment, whoops, there's a lack of beginning for you in an emotional sense. It seems like a false beginning. That could be a part of the heartbreak. You could have been looking to start something that's not beginning. Of an emotional sense, a friendship, a relationship of romantic sense, a professional partnership, but typically Ace of Cups, you know, water, right? It could very well be because you are experiencing heartbreak right now that the need for healing has to happen. And so because the need for healing is here, that this is just not the right time. And because it's not the right time, somebody else could be telling you this. I'm getting that somebody else is telling you this. That it's not the right time for them. And that's put you into a space of heartbreak. But I feel like this is... it could go either way. I don't know. I feel like you're dealing with something. Somebody puts their hands on your shoulders. Okay, anyway. The people that are surrounding you at this time. The people, the individuals that are surrounding you at this time. Prevalent energies surrounding you at this time as far as human beings. Scorpio energy. Shocking event, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, the Tower isn't always a bad thing, and when it's in the reverse, it's like it's okay that something happened. It's like a rescue, you know. Lightning from below. I get it's funny. Some thunder down under. Thunder down under. As above, so below. Spiritual protection. You know, Scorpio and the Tower in and of itself is about deconstructing something so that something new can be built. Sometimes towers happen to clear the path so that something new can come forth. Right. Your hopes and fears here for September, Virgo. Something about the eyes. I'm sorry, I keep on having these weird fucking things happen with my eyes right now too. You're definitely avoiding the truth on something. You're avoiding seeing something. I'm getting those hands on my shoulders again. There is somebody who is with you. Somebody is with you that, and I'm not talking in the physical plane, somebody is with you and you feel pressure on your shoulders. Like somebody is going like this on your shoulders when you get an intuitive feeling about something. The song Put your hand on my shoulder. You know, da, 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 da. You know that one? Put your hand on my shoulder. Like that. You're very nervous about it. You're very nervous about something you don't want to see. There's something you don't want to see or you don't want to look into. And it's almost like you know. You know. It's funny because when I started, I was like, oh, you know, Ash, you're just nervous because this is your first video. Once you get into like the third, fourth video, you're going to be fine. But it's like I was kind of shaking a little bit. The Fool, taking a risk. You're hoping to take a risk, but you're also scared of having to drop an option, or scared that somebody has dropped an option. 2 seconds. I just got to grab that off the floor. Okay. Yeah, Fool. Aries energy. Taking a risk. There's something about amethyst here. Amethyst for protection. Amethyst for warding off addiction energy. But then also and starting over, the beginning. You know, it's the beginning of the tarot. But then we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Hopes and fears, eh? You're afraid to have to start over. You're afraid of taking risk. You're hoping for a fresh beginning. But you're also at the same time worried about options and having to drop something that you it's almost like, well, you could be hoping to, you know, not have to juggle something. You're hoping that you were chosen. It could be in it doesn't necessarily have, it could be that, you know, maybe like needing to be selected. You want to be selected. Because if you aren't, that means you're going to have to start all over. You took a risk on something. You want to be chosen. Okay. We get 3 for the future for you, 6 months out. But, you know, it is a September reading. So we got 2 of them right here. We got the Page of Swords. Yeah. 6 months out, you're going to have to look at something for the purpose of learning. You've got an idea in your head already. You already know. A little birdie told me. Is that something that you're going to say? To start a conversation? So a little birdie told me. But it's like, you know, you're going to, it's not like that. You have a couple of them here. Couple of them. And you have an idea, and this is for the purpose of learning. The Page of Swords does things, looks into things for the purpose of learning. You're going to say to somebody, so I heard this, this, and this, but the fact of the matter is it's not that you heard this, this, and this. You actually looked into yourself. You looked into it for yourself. And you feel like the conversation, and even just looking into this, and this is probably why the nervousness is here. Why you didn't want to look at something in the first place. You had to be brave to do it. You know you're going to get angry. But it's unfair, and you know that you've been lied to. Or something's happening to you in the past where that was the case. Look at, you're walking the tightrope. It's precarious. You're nervous about it. Look, I'm shaking. Yeah, you're nervous about it. You know, even having the conversation just puts you on edge. And you feel like you're walking on eggshells to have a conversation about something that you've learned. You have a lot of ideas. The ideas are propping up the conversation. The ideas and the research that you've done are what are going to propel you forward. This person is across the cliff. They know very well what they're going to, they're highly informed of what they're going to be saying and talking about. Somebody's with you when you have this conversation. You need to be brave when you have this conversation because somebody is with you and they're going to have their hands on your shoulders when you're scared and having this conversation. Yeah, because you believe that it's going to be, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm getting it. It's going to be the death of the romanticism in something. It's going to kill the romance. It's going to kill the romance. Do you feel like no one's going to swoop in and save you if something goes wrong? One more. That's too many. Virgo, you don't want to have the conversation. But they're going to have their hands on your shoulders. I keep feeling it. They're going to have their hands on your shoulders. Not who you're having the conversation with. You have somebody who protects you when you're scared. They see. They see what you don't see. They see what you don't see. They see what you don't see. And because they see what you don't see, they know. They want you to be brave. They're trying to propel you to look. They're trying to propel you to look at what you don't want to look at. It's also too many. I just saw the moon, by the way. You have dreams about it. You have dreams about it. Okay. 8 of Cups. Yeah, you're walking away from something of emotional fulfillment. On the horizon towards self-love and greater wish fulfillment. You love yourself more. Footsteps in the sand. Bottom of the deck. Fucking the moon. I told you. I told you. The moon. Deception. There's something going on in dreams when you surface. When you surface from the dream world, you have the feeling. There's intuition here. This is also about fears. The dream world. Illusion. Things hidden in the shadows of the night. What's going on in the night? What's going on in the night? There's something going on in the night. You have a feeling something's going on in the night. You don't want to look. Okay, let's clarify. Put that bad boy here. Don't read the Deviant Moon in the reverse. When I opened the deck, I was compelled to, I actually heard never read this in the reverse. Not from somebody else. When I read it, when I pulled it out for the first time, you will not read this in reverse. So I do not read it in the reverse. Virgo, let's talk about the heartbreak here. Let's talk about the heartbreak and why you don't want to look at it. It's blocking you from healing. You're already heartbroken, so why don't you want to look? Why don't you want to look? No point in spinning it because we're not taking them. Why don't you want to look? Because somebody came to you with an offer. Somebody came to you with an offer. An offer of value. Time, peace offering, a token of some sort, a token of appreciation. Sometimes this can be a gift of value, but it's an offer of value. Pages are about communication, but it's something that you believe is tangible. What else? Tell us more. I'm going to try and be swift here because I need to move. Queen of Cups. You're being juggled. You don't want to look because you feel you're being juggled. Not just in that sense, but also you know that if you look with a 2, you don't want to talk about it. And the 2 of Swords is not wanting to look because then you'll have to make a decision, or trying to stand at an impasse because you don't have to move if you have the swords in front of you protecting yourself and the blindfold on. Then you're immovable. You're balanced. But with the 2 of Pentacles, this could also be somebody who belongs to an organization with a button or an insignia of some sort. But this is also, look at us, in the night. In the night. There's something here about if you look, then you'll have to make a decision. And right now you're not quite sure which to do. But also 2 options. You don't want to look because of the options. You know you'll have to make a decision if you take a look. You know you'll have to choose something. Your intuition's screaming at you, though. Your intuition's screaming at you. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. I see this as Cancer and Scorpio, but this card has this fish scale, so we could say more than likely it's Pisces, Cancer. Your intuition is screaming at you. Magician, tell me more. What is this lack of control that you're trying to get a handle on? Lots more. Yeah. As long as you don't look, you're in control of the situation. As long as you don't look, you don't have to make a choice. That's what you believe is within the sphere of your influence. You know that if all of a sudden you choose one path or the other at that fork in the road, take the blindfold off, then you might lose control. You might not necessarily be as in control of yourself and the elements around you. You might learn that there has been illusion and trickery at play. And from your awareness, the Strength card. High Priestess, yeah. Your intuition is telling you to be brave. There's secrets here. There's secrets. Tell me more about this. What does the High Priestess want to say? What does the High Priestess want to say? What does the High Priestess want to say? Yeah, time for action. You gain perspective. Piscean, 2 Piscean cards. You might have Pisces in your chart. Be brave. Follow your intuition. There are secrets and hidden items. There's something about time here. Time. Tick-tock says the clock. The pocket watch and the man on the stalk. There you go. The Hangman is sitting there, but he's voluntarily sitting there in suspended judgment, waiting and watching, trying to look at things from different angles to gain perspective, to see if it's his intuition or paranoia, if we link it to the High Priestess. Reading dignities at the same time, guys. Trying to be brave. Queen of Swords in the reverse. Let's see in that past position there. Queen of Swords in reverse we got too. Yeah, you were lied to in the past about somebody meeting up with someone. Or about a conversation during a meeting. Or during a conversation with a meeting. You were lied to. It shocked the shit out of you, Scorpio. Scorpio season. Or about a Scorpio Libra cusp individual. There was deception, biased decision-making, injustice done. Shocking moment. Something shocking. You were shocked to learn. Shocked to learn somebody met with somebody that they're tethered to. Okay. It's very straightforward. Ace of Cups in the reverse tells, oh no, sorry, I almost skipped over that entirely. Why are you moving forward in the next 2 weeks? I always miss that. I don't know why I do that. Come on. Okay. Standing in your empowered feminine Capricorn energy. Empowered feminine Earth energy. Moving forward because of a Capricorn feminine, but also could just be very well that Queen of Pentacles, right? That's a Capricorn card. I can't really bullshit you on that. Capricorn feminine energy, but you know, I mean, we all have feminine and masculine in us, right? Moving forward towards your luxury, your finery, how you can embody somebody who creates a beautiful, loving home space. Moving towards your leadership energy and your ambition towards something that you're determined to do. Tell me more, Virgo. Six of Wands. Towards your victory. It will be a victory homecoming for you. It's not necessarily a homecoming as much as it is victory, triumph over adversity. It's something you're determined to do. You want victory. Moving forward towards you could have Capricorn in your chart. Moving towards an ambition. Moving towards something, sick and tired of surveying something. You could have a mentor who is a Capricorn, or you could be reaching out to somebody in order to achieve triumph over adversity, to balance something out in order to be successful for your greater good. This Ace of Cups in the reverse, tell us about that. Why do we have something that's like a false beginning of an emotional sense? What's that about? I don't read them in the reverse, remember? The Fool. There was a risk. It was too risky. You put yourself at risk. Aries energy on that. You stubbornly put yourself at risk. There were piranhas in the water. Piranhas in the water. Anything else on that? Why is it a risk? Well, why did you, was it, tell us about this. I keep on, okay. The risk was too great. It was like a risk assessment. There was a risk assessment to do with it. Page of Wands. The communication was too passionate. One second. The communication was too passionate. Communication was too passionate. Somebody was already on thin ice because the communication was too passionate. You knew it was already risky enough as it was because of that. Who is this person with the Tower in reverse that's around you? They take passionate action towards somebody. They have Aries in their chart. They have Aries and Scorpio heavily figuring in their chart. They have the devil underfoot. They might be somebody who has control of a Capricorn individual. They might be somebody with Aries and Capricorn in their chart. But they are somebody who rules by fear. They're ignoring the Tower. They're stubbornly ignoring the Tower. They have their face. Oh, check it. They have their face away from the Tower, and they're minimizing it. And taking passionate action in another direction. That Knight of Wands. A lot of the time, a lot of other tarot readers will look at the Knight of Wands as if it's a very passionate, gung-ho dude who's coming in with very, very here today, gone tomorrow type of energy. But this is somebody who gets what they want, either through force or manipulative tactics. They're ignoring the shocking moment and minimizing it as much as they possibly can, glossing over it. They have the devil underfoot. Let's talk about your hopes and fears here for a sec. And you're hoping to take a risk, but you're also scared that you'll have to start anew. Well, you're hoping to be chosen. Tell us more. This is you. Your hope is that you know yourself well enough, that the risks that you take will be worth it. You're hoping that your personal truth will win out in the end. And that you will be recognized and chosen for your own personal merits. And that's enough. That's enough. That who you are as you are. Do you love me as I am? Do you want me where I stand? Marinade by Dope Lemon. Your personal truth is that you want to be loved just as you are. You don't want to have to change who you are in any way. You want to be chosen for who you are based on your merits. Not have to pretend. If you're not, then you know the risk and the fear is that you're going to have to start over fresh. And that you will look the fool. Nobody wants to be made a fool of, right? But the thing is, the cool thing is that that's also a learning process. That's also a part of going into that cave of self-discovery that you're recognized for. The Hermit is your card. Your hope is that you know yourself well enough to be a good judge of character, that you know yourself well enough to be connected with yourself and follow your own inklings and your own intuitions, and that you are good enough just as you are, because you're going to remain true to yourself, right? Don't be afraid of having to start over if you're not chosen for exactly who you are. There are so many people on this planet, right? In the future, because this is getting to be super long, we have that Page of Swords followed by the Knight of Cups in a reverse and the Eight of Cups. Looks like you are choosing yourself, and that's badass. That's being a real. That's knowing your truth and who you actually are, right? What are you learning with that Page of Swords? That's too many flippers, but we do have two that have landed. And I have swords in the reverse. Can't read them in reverse though. Okay, well, you're independent. Nine of Pentacles, independent energy. You're independent enough that you don't need. You've learned you don't need somebody coming on a white, you know, that knight in shining armor, white horse, ride in with all that romanticism energy to come rescue you. You got that on lock. You're independent. You probably do have Capricorn in your chart. And you've probably been through some pretty harsh adversity. You've been through worse. And you're going to get through whatever the hell this is. Then we have the Knight of Swords. It came out in the reverse. I don't read reversals, but seems to me that you're either going to be taking some swift ass action. You're definitely worried from what we already talked about that somebody will be taking some impulsive action towards you, or you're worried that they will, if I didn't just say that. If you chat about what you've learned through your investigative powers, but you're impulsively walking away from something because you love yourself more. And you know that on the horizon there's that 9 of Cups, which is self-love and deep emotional fulfillment. Right? Bottom of the deck here, fuck. Yeah, endings so that new things can come along, Scorpio energy. Crushing something under your foot, looks to be. You're going through transformation. Death is not necessarily literal death, and death is not always endings. You know, even if it is ending, the thing is, the beauty of it is that there's always transformation that happens. Endings are beginnings. Or read T.S. Eliot's 4 Quartets. All right, that's what I got for you, Capricorn. Let's pull some magnetic poetry, get some messages for you, and then we'll be done. Whatever this is that you're afraid to look at. We get afraid of those kinds of things all the time, but you know what? If you don't look at something that's bleeding, you're not going to know how bad it is, and if you need stitches or a Band-Aid, you're going to end up with an infection, or you're going to bleed to death. So best you take a look so that you can begin the healing process. I'm not getting a whole lot here. Well, that's random, but that's the beauty of this magnetic poetry thing that we do. All right. I don't know how to take that seriously. Maybe it's just to make you laugh after a kind of hardcore reading. But I don't mince words because the cards that come out are the cards that come out. So in any event, check out your rising moon and Venus sign. If this made any sense to you, or you like what I do, hit this button and subscribe. And we'll see you next month, or for love read or something like that. Please be well. Please take care of yourself. And thanks again. Bye. I mean, you know, Jesus. There's your spread. There you go. Thanks again. See ya.